Hello there and welcome to Amiga Reviews. I'm your host, the eager Amiga Eagle. No relation. Today I'm going to be looking at First Samurai, an amazing puzzle cum hack and slash that is... Bugger. Right, okay. As I was saying, today I'm going to be looking at First Samurai, a game that first appeared... Oh, come on! Hello, I'm the eager Amiga Eagle. Patience is a virtue. Today... Oh, for Christ's sake. Okay, so in this video I'm going to be looking at Team 17's Alien Breed, a top-down shooter from 1991. Team 17 was, still is, a British-based software publishing house started in 1990 when UK public domain aficionados 17-bit software merged with Swedish-based Team 7. Team 17 have had a fair few hits over their 34-year tenure, most notably of which is the Worms franchise, which at the time of publishing this video has 16 titles under its belt. But it's always nice to see a veteran company like Team 17 still survives to this day, given how cutthroat the industry can be. Before their rather bizarre fixation with invertebrates, Team 17 had an eclectic history of dabbling into various game genres, ranging through racing games and fighting games, see my review of Body Blows, to pool, bowling and other arcade classics like pinball. Alien Breed was Team 17's second title, following the reasonably successful Full Contact. Alien Breed was released during the Alien zeitgeist of the 1990s, just before the release of 92's Alien 3 in cinemas. It's quite obvious that this was the main influence of the Alien Breed franchise, to the point where I'm surprised they did not get a knock on the door from H.R. Giger's lawyers. This is a theme that follows throughout the entire franchise. Alien Breed itself, for the most part, is a top-down run and gun, similar to the likes of Gauntlet or Chaos Engine, albeit with an overarching sci-fi aesthetic. It has a similar feel to later 3D shooters like Doom, only without the third D. Gameplay consists of huge, sprawling maze-like maps, chock full of claustrophobic corridors and tiny little rooms. These maps can range from simple ones like the initial hangar levels right up to labyrinthian stages throughout the game. A remote location scanner is an absolute must at this point. Alien Breed comes from a time when games did not wrap gamers in cotton wool. Team 17 wanted the players to work for this victory, as the game is positively unyielding at times. It is quite possible to become overwhelmed by the sheer amount of aliens on screen, run out of keys whereby you cannot open doors, or accidentally activate a fire door that can seal off entire sections of the level. It is also likely that you will get lost, covering the same areas multiple times, or come across one of the many dead ends that will have you backtracking through much of the level. The only things that are missing are a rat, a piece of cheese and some scientists. Bizarrely, there are times when you can open doors to rooms, but if you walk just a little further you will discover that you can enter the room without having to open a door at all, thus being a complete waste of a key card. Is this intentional? Or just lazy level design? The aliens themselves are not very original, obviously. Neither do they vary in their personality. There are three main types which will be very familiar to fans of the Alien films. The Xenomorph, greyish-black creatures that take multiple hits to kill. The Facehuggers, these are smaller, do not actually attach themselves to your face, and are generally easier to kill. And the Queen Aliens. There are generally one of these every other level. They are very big and can sometimes be quite difficult to kill. They all look different, but they all attack in generally the same fashion. There are slight variations to the aliens on some of the levels, but they are all generally based on these types in one way or another. Most aliens will endlessly spawn off screen. There is no scoring system as such, and you don't get anything for killing the hordes, which is something you need to keep in mind as you watch your ammo disappear. You start out with the stock machine gun. There are no screen clearing bombs or the like, it's just you and your weapon against the endless waves. You will chew through ammo clips like they are going out of fashion to begin with. Thankfully, there are ammo, key and credit pickups littered throughout each level, but these will not usually be enough to last. You can log into the various Intex systems to buy more ammo, keys and weapon upgrades to help you through the levels, but there are only a handful of these on each level and they are not marked on any maps, so you need to be strategic to make sure you do not run out of keys until you come across them. All of the available weapons are a definite improvement over the standard gun, but some of them, like the rebounding fire arc or laser, can get you into trouble if they hit things like fire door switches as they move. There are 5 levels in the game. Each one generally has an objective, and most of them will activate a self-destruct sequence once the objective is completed. This seriously ramps up the stress levels as the screen turns crimson and a large timer starts counting down. A klaxon also sounds, as well as an unnervingly calm voice telling you that destruction is imminent. Everything becomes a lot harder to see when the screen is red, and you have a very tight time limit to get back to the deck lift once this has happened. If the countdown finishes, it's game over, regardless of how many lives you have left. Harsh. The graphics in Alien Breed are very simple, and do not change much level to level. The only real way to know you're on a different level is by the colour scheme. The main player's character does not have the same charisma as Master Chief or Doom Guy, and he runs as if he's soiled himself. However, the slight glow from the muzzle flash as you fire your weapon is a nice touch, and he does a funny little pirouette when he dies, although that does get rather old after a while. Our good friend Alistair Brimble composed the main theme, which suits the aesthetic of the game very well. In-game, you hear industrial sounds and aliens, and a very bored sounding woman doing the computer announcements, and that's about it. Oh, apart from an opening door sound that has obviously been ripped directly from the original Star Trek, and when you collect an ammo clip. But this is one of the best weapon sound effects from any game ever. Alien Breed is such edge of the seat action that as a kid it gave me a mighty adrenaline rush which led to insomnia after a few hours of gameplay. However, when you get through the game, you have a tremendous feeling of satisfaction that you have managed to escape this Geigerish hell. Oh, the relief as you are greeted with the ending screen, which tells you... Really? Oh well. Team 17 went on to create Alien Breed Special Edition in 1992. This version tweaks and updates a lot of elements in the game, such as doubling the amount of levels, more pickups and money, although this is neutered by the fact that everything in the game is considerably more expensive. You can now shoot through doors if you run out of keys, but this does take up a lot of ammo. The game is a little easier than its predecessor, but it does not mean that it is by any means easy. Special Edition is the version of Alien Breed that I am most familiar with. There was also Alien Breed 2, The Horror Continues, and Alien Breed Tower Assault, which came out in 1993 and 94 respectively. These sequels received a complete graphical overhaul. They have taken everything in the originals and made it more colourful and graphic-tastic. They have also changed all of the sound effects, but at least they elected to keep the awesome reload effect. Team 17 have certainly not made the game any easier. In Tower Assault, the helicopters in the first level alone are likely to make you lose a few lives before you even get to the main complex. These sequels, inconsistent naming conventions aside, are decent additions to the franchise, although like a lot of games of this era, they are so different that sometimes they do not feel like a continuation of the original series. This does not mean that they are bad games, far from it. They just feel like they were produced by a completely different team. Eventually, Team 17 saw fit to add the ever-elusive third dimension to the Alien Breed franchise, and in one sudden move, it became a Doom clone. Walking around 3D landscapes, opening doors, finding secrets and killing enemies. However, in order to get games like this to run smoothly on the Amiga, sacrifices had to be made. In this case, the graphics. Running in a very low resolution, in a small window at the top of the screen, the experience was unfortunately very lacking, which is a shame, because the level design was actually quite good for the time. They also tried again with the killing grounds, but you needed a high-end Amiga just to make it run semi-decently. You can downgrade the graphics in the game, or even turn some elements off altogether, but there's a definite trade-off between immersiveness and performance. Plus the enemies look cartoonish, the weapons are very unremarkable and, unlike the top-down games, the levels do not seem to be very big. With my lonely POV Spec 1200, this is as good as it got for me. I was pleased that Team 17 were able to get this running on the Amiga at all, and it was great to have a full 3D shooter on my system of choice. But I would inevitably go round to my friends' houses and play Doom, Duke Nukem and Quake on their PCs with a real feeling of envy. As the years went on, Team 17 became a bit of a one-trick pony. However, Alien Breed obviously still had enough of an impact, with subsequent titles getting released on newer generation consoles. There were 3D isometric games on the Xbox 360 and PS3, which I have, but for my sins, I've hardly ever played. I think this was because, well, it wasn't really Alien Breed. They also released a remastered version on the PS Vita, iOS and Android. All of the original levels were there, plus a few new ones, as well as most of the original assets, such as the ammo clip sound. But these games have one quite major problem. They are far, far too easy. There are money, keys and ammo pickups literally everywhere. You can also enter a level, pick up stuff, quit and restart to get all the low-hanging fruit again. The in-text system could be accessed on the move from anywhere on the level. There are arrows showing you where to go, and they have taken out things like the booby-trapped one-up icon and adding in much more powerful versions of the weapons. Also, it is so easy to shoot through doors now that the keycards are virtually obsolete. Alien Breed has fallen into the mollycoddling the player trap. However, there are some nice little touches, such as all graphics remastered for HD, smoother frame rates and considerably shorter loading times. You can also use the second analog stick to aim and strafe while running, which is a vast improvement. In the original games, you had to stop or circle around to aim, and this virtually guaranteed that you would take some damage as the aliens converged upon you. I actually think this is a very playable game on mobile devices. It just needed to be harder. All in all, these games have the look of a very bygone era, but they are still fun to play and, if you go for the originals, still provide a substantial level of challenge. Thanks so much for watching. I'm the Eager Amiga Eagle. Don't forget to L and S, and as always, see you next game, hopefully.